Look at this dude.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hey man, if you haven't already, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel, smash the like button, click that bell while you're at it so you can be a part of the Postnut gang family, best family on YouTube, and that's no cap, hands down. Hey man, we are here from the content creator OneCloud9. Unavoidable. I can't even talk. Unavoidable male Canon events. Alrighty, we're gonna do less talking, more reacting. Let's dive right into this video. Let's go.
Male Canon events. First up, fumbling a 10 out of 10. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the worst ones in my opinion. Reason why we've all been through this. There's always been that one girl that you thought.
I ain't gonna lie, I got a couple of them. 10 out of 10. I fumbled. I ain't gonna cap. Like I blame me for why the relationships did not work out.
Thought you had in the bag. I mean, she's fine, beautiful, gorgeous. I mean, in your mind, she goes band for band with Scissor Lotto and Ruby Rose. Like, you feel me? If for some wild reason you think you actually have a chance with that girl, you try to get her and you're doing good, and then randomly one day she just goes. And for the rest of that week, you're just contemplating, scrolling through your texts, looking at what you could.
What did I do wrong? How drunk was I last night? What did I say? What did I do?
Possibly have done wrong. Thinking maybe she forgot about the text, maybe you said a weird joke, or just something random. Just whatever your brain can imagine. For her to actually ghost you, because of course it's not just you. Well, nigga, hate to break it to you. She likes a guy and it's not you. Game is game. And the worst part about
I mean, it's not just women that be doing it. Us, we be doing it too. I ain't gonna lie. You know, you playing the field, right? You playing you in the game, right? At the end of the day, we all know, we all grown. We talk to multiple people, at least until you lock it down with that person, then that's that one person. But when you in that talking phase, in the flings and stuff like that, you talking to multiple people. And when you pick the one out of the 20 you're talking to, then you just cut everybody off, ghost them.
About it is that oftentimes the next week she ends up hard launching with her new man, and when you see him, it's somebody you don't even think is better than you. Well, brother, hate to break it to you, but he is. And then when they eventually break up, you're gonna be right back on her feet, begging for her to take you back. But before that, you will go through that. I hate that.
Tell me why this actually happened. At the end of last year, there was a girl that I used to date a few years ago, and then, you know, I went through my breakup a couple of years ago with, you know, my most recent major breakup, I should say. But then I saw that she wasn't in a relationship at that time. So I slid back in the DMs. We're friends right now. But she was also talking to somebody else. She ended up going with the other person. It's all good though. We still friends. I'm just waiting, you know. I'm going to wait till that relationship ends. And then I'm going to slide right back in.
They always hate the girl for a little bit. It's inevitable, bro. Every single bad thing that you've noticed and garnered about her in the past couple of years, it just kind of comes flowing back into your brain in one rushing, angry moment until it eventually boils over and you realize you don't really hate her. You're just sad that she's gone. But you still go through the phase. Then you get sad and
we've all been there.
You're a little bit depressed and you're wondering why it didn't work out. Maybe you'll never find love again. Maybe something else won't happen. I don't know. You just stress. But usually you end up doing all of this stressing late at night, which leads you to the
very true.
Third male Canon
with a bottle of tequila.
3 a.m. motivational workout. I can speak for all of us. We've all been through. Whether it was a breakup or a heartbreak, or maybe you just realized you're a bum. You went through that phase where you thought at 3 a.m. in the morning you was gonna change the world. You started doing push-ups, started watching David Goggins videos, and you're up all night feeling motivated. You're thinking that you're finna rule the world.
I've been through this a lot of times too. In the middle of the night, you know, you feeling good because you drunk, maybe a little high, you feel me, a little crossfaded. You get all revamped right back up.
Gonna be the most swole, chiseled, drip.
Then you go to sleep and you wake up all depressed again.
Chiseled, gizzled, diggled, fadiddled, top tier man that you can be. And then you wake up after you pass out on the floor from doing all of them push-ups. Look at your surroundings. Realize your room is still dirty. And
oh my God, tell me why this was me like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I came back to the room my whole room was trash, bro.
And eventually come to the realization that you'll never be that guy.
But it wasn't because I was sad over a girl. It was some other ish going on.
Something else that can send you into this motivational arc. Canon event number 4, going bald. I promise you, every single person watching this video has gone through this phase. And most of the time, it's because of your dad. Brother, I am gonna tell you right now, for the first 5 years of my life, I had to be completely butt naked Michael Jordan bald. Because when my dad was 28, he stopped growing hair, and ever since that day, he decided.
I will say this, my dad still has his hairline, and I'm blessed to say my hairline's still good. My brother, on the other hand, though, his hairline started pushing back when he was in middle school.
That he didn't want me to grow hair either. And it was the most aggravating thing of my life. And I'm sure every single one of y'all went through that same thing. And the worst part about it is that after he allowed me to have hair, he only allowed my hair to get to a certain length, which is known as the bald phase, which most of us have gone through, especially black children. And the worst part about this,
for the ones that don't know, I'm half black, half white, and my dad used to be the one that cut my hair when I was younger. But yeah, same thing. He would make sure my hair stayed short.
This is that back then, when I was growing up, the mohawk was very popular.
That is actually one thing I've never done yet. A mohawk. I said yet, like I'm gonna do it. I'm not ever doing no mohawk.
It was during the LaMelo, Odell mohawk phase, and everybody and their mother wanted a mohawk. And I wanted that so bad, but no, I couldn't get it because my dad said, and I quote, "If you get a mohawk, you have to walk around naked everywhere because the mohawk tribe did." Yeah, I don't know why that nigga said that. That was some fucked up shit. But basically, he was just trying to get me to be bald like him. So hey, yeah, I guess it kind of worked.
Your dad was just a little jealous, you know.
Now we got these. But something else that dads often made us
I thought the video just froze on me. I thought my internet went out or something.
Was help them around the house. And one thing that I know for sure that we all went through was our dads getting mad at us when we didn't hand them their tools fast enough. My brother in Christ, I have almost been shot, almost lost my life. Heck, I thought I had AIDS at one point. But I have never been more scared in my life than when I used to help my dad do work around the crib. Because for some reason, dads just have a big fascination with doing mechanical work around the house. And while they're actively doing this active stupid,
my dad never let me like help out with anything that he had going on. I think he was just scared that I was just gonna get all up.
Stupidity, most likely messing up the whole house. They decide to exert their frustrations on their kid that they told them to help. And my brother in Christ, I know every single person watching this video can relate. If you didn't hand your dad that tool as soon as he asked you to, or if you moved a tiny little bit when he asked you to shine the flashlight somewhere, the amount of anger and rage that man will exert onto your body would be scarier than meeting a polar bear in the Arctic who hasn't eaten for weeks. And honestly, I've experienced a lot of trauma from doing stuff like this. Like the amount of trauma I've gone through from just holding tools is probably equivalent to the slaves back in olden times. But after this, as a kid,
that sounds tough as hell.
You can get pretty traumatized, scared, but also angry from what your father did. So angry that you even think about potentially fighting him. It would also be the worst.
I fought my dad a couple times. I'm not gonna lie.
Mistake you ever made in your life, because he will beat your ass. Every single man in his life has thought about fighting his dad. I say fighting for a reason, because you will never beat him. I don't know what it is about.
When I said I fought my dad a couple times, I'm not talking about like punching and stuff like that. Like me and my dad, we got into a few times going through high school. This is like, and I also moved out the crib when I was in high school because I couldn't do it no more. Like till this day, I don't even talk to my dad. But anyways, anytime we got in like a physical altercation, it was more so just grappling and stuff like that. We never like punched each other. My dad whooped my ass growing up, but he never like punched me. You feel me?
Oh,
if that makes sense.
But like, they will never lose to their son. Period. Especially if it's fist. Like you could be 6'5", 280. Matter of fact, you.
I ain't gonna lie, my dad will whoop my ass still to this day. My dad big.
Big John Jones.
He's short, but he's stocky.
Happy, but as soon as you run into your 5'9" father, he will beat the living breaks out of you. And even though we all wanted to fight our father, we none of us have actually did it because we knew the reality of it. I actually almost did it one time, and there's a reason why I said almost, because I realized very soon that I would get my ass absolutely blasted. And I love my life way too much to ever do that to myself. Once you realize that you can't,
I would not fight my dad, bruh. Give me 10 more years in the gym, then maybe talk to me then.
Possibly beat your father. You go from fight to flight, which leads me to thing number 6. Running away. Every man has thought about running away from home.
I've also ran away too when I was in high school. I ran away for 2 weeks. This was before I officially moved out the crib. But I ran away for 2 weeks before my mama got the cops involved and they came to the school to pick me up.
Brother, I cannot explain to you how many times I thought about running away as a kid. The crazy part about it is I live in a 2-parent household, suburban home, live in Nashville, Tennessee, a predominantly white city. I live in the suburbs of the suburbs.
So he was living good at the end of the day.
You would see white people walking their dogs and kids playing in the street. I live a good life. I had a good childhood. I even went to private school. But for some reason, whenever my mom pissed me off or my dad did something I didn't want to like, I always thought about getting a big ass stick, a little red piece of cloth, tying it together, and putting all of the important stuff in my life.
It sounds like my boy over here might have been a little spoiled growing up.
Like the PS4 in the sack and walking right now. I feel like this is a Canon event, not just for guys. I feel like it's everybody. We as men are the ones who are actually the closest to doing it. Because I'm not gonna lie, one time I literally started packing my bags because my mom pissed me off so much. And I was almost done doing it. I was so close to committing. And then I realized how badly my mom would beat my ass if I actually ran away. So I just stayed. That's what usually happens because it's never worth the beating because they will find you. But usually that type of stuff will happen.
They will find you.
When you get grounded. And something else you would do when you're grounded is thing number 7, reading a diary of Wimpy Kid book. I don't know why we all did this, but we all read that book in our floor whenever our parents took away our phones or PS4s or whatever. Like, it was just an event to the fullest. And if you wasn't
I think I read a couple of those books when I was growing up, but I didn't really read books. I still don't read books. I don't like reading in general. I tried to get into it not too long ago, a couple of years ago. I ordered a bunch of books, told myself I'm gonna start reading. I gave up after like 2 days.
The guy, if you was a girl, you would probably read the Dork Diaries. I feel like guys also read the Big Nate books, stuff like that.
Big Nate? They got books? What? That's my name, y'all. They made a book on me.
It's just that same type of category genre. And I would always get those books at the Scholastic Book Fair too, bro.
Man, I remember them book fairs.
Like, nigga, whenever that boy Jeff Kinney cooked up a book, I ain't gonna lie, niggas was on they seats, on they toilet, locked into them joints. I'm not gonna lie. But something that's also tough though is number 8. Realizing you'll never go pro in the sport you love. You know, as a man, I feel like this is actually the most heartbreaking thing you can go through. Because yeah, fumbling a 10 out of 10 is bad, but there will always be more fish in the sea. With your sport.
That part. And then to go back on topic in regards of realizing that you're not going to go pro. So growing up, I was heavy into skateboarding. I did get to a point to where I did get sponsored by a couple of skate shops and companies. But, you know, my goal was to go pro one day. And yeah, and that never happened. I quit skateboarding in high school.
Sport though, you only really get one chance at this. And once you finally had that moment of realization that you will never go pro in your sport, whether it's basketball, football, it's truly one of the most heartbreaking things you can ever go through. I remember I was a big basketball player back in middle school, and when I got to high school, I thought it was going to be the same thing. And then one random day, Darius Garland pulled up to my local gym, and I realized very quickly that NBA was never going to be a reality. But I was delusional, so I thought, you know what, maybe if I really ball out my freshman year, I can get some looks. You know, I could really go crazy in a good route leading up to my senior year. Well,
I ain't gonna lie, I tried out for the basketball team as a freshman as well. I didn't make the team though. I did not make the team.
I was a JV bench player.
I played football.
I was good too. I was averaging like 20 points a game, but the coaches just didn't mess with me. But then I thought, you know what, maybe the coaches are just, you feel me, purely hating on me, which they were. And then I thought, you know what, maybe I need to transfer somewhere to get more PT. Maybe that's what I really needed. And then I realized that I was never gonna grow past the height of 5'9". Yeah, I haven't grown since freshman year. So yeah, I'm basically trying to say I'm fried. But every man has to go through that phase.
Hey, I'd rather be 5'9" than 5'7" like me.
Phase to realize you're just a regular guy. Just because every motivational speaker tells you that you can do whatever you want in this life doesn't mean you actually can do it. I'm just keeping it real. Because I'm sorry, buddy, if you're 5'4" and you trying to be an NBA basketball player in this economy, in this league, I'm gonna be honest, brother, we have Wimbies playing point guard, bro. You're not Muggsy Bogues, bro. Another tough realization that we've all been through. Realizing that you're in the friend zone. And I don't care who you think you is. We've all been in this category. As a guy, we've all
been there. I think we can all agree.
Thought once, if we were a good enough friend to a girl, that she would eventually crack and decide to settle down with us. But another Canon event that we've all been through is realizing that that's not how life works. As a matter of fact, she actually knows that you like her. Yeah, it doesn't care. She'll still use you for free car rides, free money, free food, and free attention.
It's so crazy how trifling girls can be, because a lot of the times girls just be with a guy based off what they got, not who they actually are.
This is one of the toughest realities we had to learn as a man, but every man has to go through it. I remember I was 13 and there was this girl I liked and she broke her foot. So I offered literally carry her around the school because we were just good friends. She actually ended up getting pregnant by another guy.
Ah, damn, that's tough. Yeah, like I said, we've all been there. We've all been there. I remember my first time ever being friend zoned, like quick, cause like going through elementary and middle school, I was chubby. I was a short, chubby kid. You feel me? So anytime like I would look at a girl that I thought was cute or whatever, I was crushing on. I would try to like be nice, talk and stuff like that. But there was this one girl that I was really liking, and like we would hang out and stuff like that at school. But in my head, I was thinking like, oh yeah, we both like each other. In her eyes, we just friends, blase blase. You feel me? But there was this one time a dude came up to her and talking to her, and then she introduced me to him. She called me her best friend teddy bear. I remember I was like, I was crushed.
At 13, but that's a different story. But another pain that we all had to go through is going to the bathroom in a public setting and not knowing the Interal Rule. And every single guy watching this video knows exactly what I'm talking about. I remember I was a kid, I was at my school, and it was like a student-teacher day or whatever, I don't know. And for some reason, the parents were on campus. And I walked into the bathroom, and there was a grown-ass man using the left urinal. And the middle and right one were open. And according to the Interal Rule, if there's 3 urinals, you have to use the left, you have to use the right, and it's the center one, it's the only one available. You wait your turn. Unless they have blockers or binders where you don't gotta see another man's pee. But as a kid, I didn't know that, so I ended up using the middle one right beside him. And I remember to this day, the look that this man gave me was a look of absolute disgust.
Hey, look, that's the rule in jail as well, man. You go to jail, they got the toilets, right? But then they also have the little ones where you can stand up and pee, right? The ones you stand up and pee, they don't have walls when you're in jail. But so there'll be, I think, like 2 or 3 of them types of toilets. You only use one, and every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning when they finally let them doors open so we can get our chow, everybody's in line, one line for one toilet to pee. You don't use the other toilets, you use the one, and then you got one shitter. There's rules to this shit.
I'm not gonna lie. And as soon as he got done pissing, turned to me, patted me on the back, and said, "Son, heads up, whenever you use the bathroom, you never piss right beside another man." I've never seen that man ever again, but I thank that man for truly changing my life. But this is one of those rules that once you learn it, never forget it, or else things will clown you. Something else that we've all been through in the bathroom, though, is being around that one kid who decides to just pull down his whole pants just to take a little piss in the urinal. Back in that.
I ain't gonna lie, we did this in high school as a joke, though. We did it as a joke, and I ended up recording it. I think I put it on YouTube. I think it's on a whole different channel. I don't have access to that channel. But I ended up recording it because it was a prank. My homie, he came into the bathroom, he pulled his whole junk down, bro, and started peeing. His whole ass cheeks were out, bro. It was funny. Everybody cracking up.
Brother, this one was horrible. Usually it will be the special ed kids, but at the same time, it's like, brother, please have some common sense. That's such a great statement. Usually they would be farting too, and they would just thinking this. But at the same time, we've all done it when we was younger, and then we had a grown man walk into the bathroom and instruct us to never do that again, and then we changed our ways. Something that
I've never had a grown man do that, like, instruct me on how to use the toilet in the bathroom, you feel me? But I did have in 6th grade, my Spanish teacher, it was after school bell rang, I had to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and my Spanish teacher was in the middle taking a piss. And then I started peeing, but I separated myself in the stalls, you feel me? But he got done, and he came up from behind me, patted me on the shoulder, and was like, "Good job today in class." And I was like, bro, I'm literally peeing. Like,
we haven't changed as guys. It's number 11 or 12, I don't know at this point. Putting your hands in your pants for warmth on an ice cold freezing day. This one I know
I do that till this day.
We've all done. I'm actually doing it right now.
Yeah, like I do it every day.
Tonight, we've all done it.
Especially in bed. I do it in bed. I put my hand, like, that's just
real. It's amazing. It's one of the most sensational feelings ever. You get to put your hand next to life. It's amazing. I don't know. It's just vibey. Here's the thing with this stuff. You gotta be very careful where you do this at, because doing it while nobody's around is cool, but if you're in a crowded room space and you just got your hands in your pants, like, brother, who raised you? That's where the creep.
As long as you're not doing no motion with your hands, you feel me? You good.
Let me class. But speaking of balls, the next Canon event that we've all been through is chilling around the house playing GTA or Fortnite or something, and then all of a sudden, randomly, you just feel a sharp pain in your balls, and you just start clenching them. You start grabbing them. You start praying to God because you think that you'll never have kids again. You start wondering if you have cancer, or maybe you got an STD, or maybe if you gooned too much. I don't know what you did. And then after it goes away, you immediately get on your knees and pray to God.
Especially if, like, your groin is sore from, like, a workout or something like that. your groin is like literally attached to your balls, so it affects your balls too, bro.
I promise.
Affects the way you walk and everything.
Jerk off again if he heals your pain. And then 3 nights later, you end up jerking off again. But hey, game is game. But after you goon, you get a negative feeling. You feel shame. You promise to God you will never do it again. Yet you fail. You feel defeated. See, this right here is what we call Postnut Clarity, which is the
Postnut Clarity is definitely very real. Now, it's not like that for me in regards of grooming myself. You feel me? But it's like that sometimes when you actually link up with someone and you kind of like afterwards you're just like, wow, did I really do that? Did I do that?
next Canon event, and probably the most popular one. Because the only time that you won't feel this is after the first one you do. Back when you were most likely younger, which is sick, honestly. It's sad that so many little kids are gooning, but it's whatever, I guess. And after that first goon...
Hey, from what I heard, it's healthy for you to, in his words, goon. I said groom, but grooming yourself is healthy.
You felt alive. You felt like you just discovered the greatest thing on earth. Then after that second one, you really quickly realized that you just formed and started an addiction.
I am goon.
Very lucky to get him. There's downhill, and you just keep on getting more downhill until you eventually stop and become a better human being. Which a lot of y'all haven't done. Let's just keep it real. At the same time, though, you will never escape.
It is what it is.
Postnut Clarity, even though I had one homie who did it like 10 times a day, and apparently he just stopped having it, but he also looked very depressed, so I think he just had it permanently. You already know what I'm finna say, though. Game is game, jizzle is jizzle, and don't fiddle your pickle. Let's get to it. But it's a part of being a man.
Man, I'm gonna keep playing with my pickle. Shit.
And the game is game, and that's just how life is. When you retain that,
keep it real.
Get superpowers. Powers that would never be feasible to that average gooning man. And you do that as soon as you get into the next Canon event, aka semen retention. Every single man has gone through this. I don't care what y'all say. We've all gone through semen retention. We thought that by holding our seed, we would turn into spiritual cell or something. In all reality, you kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of get superpowers. You feel like you can move mountains, you start thinking more clearly, you start getting more ideas. There's really no negative to holding your seed. And then we eventually all fail. But at the same time, we keep on going. But the first time you go on this path, you think you're a superior human being, though. You think you're better than everybody because you can hold your seed, and you call all of the regular 1 to 2 time a week gooners peasants in your eyes. You think they're just weak, inferior beings, and that's just how you will think until you eventually become one of them again. Game is game. But the last Canon event I want to talk about is video games falling off as you get older. This one more of a maturity thing. As you get older, I don't know if it's just me, but like video games just aren't as fun anymore. Like the only games I play,
I've never been heavy into video games ever my whole life, like ever. I want to get into it though, to be honest, because I feel like it's a good way to like another outlet to kind of just forget about reality and kind of just have fun with it type ish. You feel me? I want to get into it. I just haven't just been motivated to get into it because I want to start streaming for you guys too. So, but yeah, I've never been heavy into gaming.
Now is NCAA, and it's really just to cool down and just to beat my friends. I'm not gonna lie, I can't get immersed in a game nowadays like I did back when I was younger. Maybe it's because I have responsibilities, or maybe it's just because games fell off. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of sad. Hopefully GTA 6 can bring that back out of me. But so then,
I ain't gonna lie, GTA 6 when that comes out, I'm hopping on that. I ain't gonna cap.
We will see. But I feel like every man kind of goes through this, and if you didn't, shouts out to you. But hey, go ahead and tell me anything I missed. If you like this video, go tap into my streams. They're very entertaining too. I'll be doing yaps, vlogs, challenges. It's crazy. It's fire. It's blowing up right now. Also, Post Cloudy here. Go tap into my Discord. We have a very thriving community, and I know you will love it. And plus, if you love me, you'll love it even more. Joe, go tap in. Link to the Cord is a top pinned comment. You can't miss it. And add me on Snapchat and follow me on Twitter. Blah blah blah. Yeshua loves you. I love you. Thank you.
Well, that was the video. I ain't gonna lie. I related to quite a bit of the topics she was on. I ain't gonna lie. You let me know in the comment section as well, man. I'm curious to see who else could be relating to any of the topics he was talking about. But if you guys made it to the end, I greatly appreciate it. Smash the like button, leave a comment, click that bell while you're at it. Till next time, I'm gonna see y'all next time.